Hey guys, hey to all the panelists and to all the attendees watching. My name's Tony, and we want to thank you all for joining us and being part of the first Jam Compass webinar called The Link. Hi to all the viewers tuning in. First and foremost, we want to wish that everyone is doing well during these crazy times that we're all going through together. And we want to send a ton of love and prayers to anyone that's been affected by COVID-19 and hope that everyone's staying safe and staying inside. I'm one of the co-founders of Jam Compass as well as the producer, and Jam Compass is a mobile app that will be in beta in the next couple months that will allow creatives and music industry professionals the ability to connect, collaborate, and find opportunities in real time. And in the meantime, we wanted to start bringing the music community together to discuss the current state of things since there's so much unknown at the moment. So today's topic will be music in times of pandemic. And we invited you all here to give us your take on how you're dealing with it in your sector of the industry. Before we get started, for all the viewers, you can introduce yourself in the chat section. And if you have any questions for the panelists, you can leave it in the Q&A, and we will get to those at the end of this, probably within the last 20 minutes. So now I'm going to pass this on to Anthony, my partner in Jam Compass. Take it from here,
hey guys, sorry, I'm just trying to get dizzy on here. Yeah, I want to thank everyone for taking the time out and joining us today. We're going through some really crazy times here in the music business and in the world. So we wanted to put together a really great weekly webinar to bring a lot of incredible people in the business together to kind of educate the community and kind of come together and really evolve through this and come out stronger and on top. So we're going to go through each panelist, introduce yourselves, and then we will, there he is. There he is. What's up, Dizzy? Yeah, so like I said, Dizzy, we're gonna go through each panelist and introduce yourselves, and I'll take one by one and we will ask you some questions and we'll get started. So Candice, let's start with Candice. You can unmute her, Tony.
Yeah, I got you.
Can I be unmuted, please?
Yeah.
Hi, guys.
Unmute themselves. Yeah, go for it.
This
So
is
Candice, how are you doing?
I've actually never used Zoom before. This is amazing.
Awesome. Yeah, introduce yourself. Candice is an amazing singer, songwriter, producer. So yeah.
Thank you. Yes, my name is Candice Pillay, and I'm originally from South Africa. Been living in LA for quite a while now. Singer, songwriter, producer. I develop artists. Basically everything music related. However I can, touch the music community, I'm always like excited to help. So I was excited to, jump on this with you guys today.
Thank you very much again. Yeah, so what are some of the challenges you're experiencing right now? Are you still being creative? How are you being creative?
It is really challenging. I mean, it's kind of like a double-edged sword for me because I am very kind of self-sufficient when it comes to the way I work. I'm in front of my this is my little station right here. So I have my laptop here. I'm in front of my keys right now. I have just basic instruments like my keys and my guitar that I can write on. But that's more so for me when I'm doing like my own stuff. Like it's kind of easy for me to be in this environment and write for myself. But I'm finding a problem with, I do a lot of collaborations with so many different artists and other writers and producers. And I'm more of an in-the-room type person. I've never done these Skype, Zoom, FaceTime sessions. I find it really difficult because I like to connect with people. I feel like that's what music is. It's connection and collaboration. So for me, it has been super difficult. Just not even being able to like record. Like for me, my vocals are super important when I also kind of freestyle on the microphone, and I don't do that here at the house. I don't have a whole setup to do that here because I prefer to work with my engineer, and I'm not even kind of able to do that. So it's been challenging, and it's been almost 2 weeks now that I've been in the house, and I've been going crazy. But I'm finding ways to kind of like work around it,
Right. What do you see, some positives that can come from this?
There's definitely
normal that we're in right now.
The positive side of it that I see is that it's just definitely a time for me to reflect on what's really going on and kind of put that into what I'm making at the moment. You know what I mean? Like it's a tough time. And as artists, as musicians, as composers, and people that create art, and we're creating what's around us right now, I feel like I'm writing so much more about how I'm feeling at this moment. And it's very, very important for me to document that. So yeah, I've had more than enough time to do that, just night and day, you know.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, now's the time for people to really be genuine with their writing and then in the creative process.
And I feel like it, I need to get a little better about getting more on like live and like interacting with people that, want to hear music. It kind of lightens them and it makes them feel like everything's going to be okay. We have a very big responsibility, I feel like, to push like a message of hope, and music can do that. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Awesome. Okay, cool. We're gonna move on to Emily next.
Hi.
Hey, Emily, how are you?
I'm Emily. I'm doing well, thanks. How are you doing?
Doing good.
How's everyone doing?
We're doing great.
Okay.
Yeah, so introduce yourself, talk about a little bit of what you do, and we can get into some questions.
Yeah, my name is Emily Bynes, and I am a publisher. I work at a company called Kobalt Music, which is an administration publishing company, slightly different from some other companies that own copyright. We just administer them. And I'm a senior creative on our LA-based A&R team. And I work predominantly with a lot of the smaller boutique publishing companies that we administer and help facilitate opportunity for their roster, but then also make sure that they're using our resources to be able to grow internally. That's my main role there. And then I have a roster of my own writers and producers and artists that I work with. And I've been there for about 3 years.
Awesome. And how are you doing with, the current challenges from COVID-19, and how are you kind of facilitating your roster, pushing them to collaborate during this time?
Yeah, similar to what Candice was talking about, I think a lot of our writers and producers have been so used to collaborating with a lot of people over the years and being in rooms with more than one other person. So this has been an interesting challenge for people to figure out how self-sufficient they are. And I think at the outcome of all of this, a lot of people are going to realize that perhaps they were better producers than they gave themselves credit for. Or perhaps they were stronger lyricists than they gave themselves credit for, and they now have the opportunity to really stretch those muscles. And definitely, to be able to do 100% of a song is a muscle and a discipline that definitely needs to be exercised. So I think this is a really good opportunity for that. People are really trying to figure out how to make the Zoom collaborations work. There's a couple of really excellent programs like Loopback that have been helping with some of the delays and, like just making edits and just kind of trying to communicate via a bad internet connection. But, those challenges I think are going to just be ongoing, and just kind of like as this unfolds, we're going to just be seeing more and more the best ways that people can kind of take up their time now, as opposed to what we were busy doing before. But like the pitching community is really active. We still have people looking for songs, producers making beats and loops, and all those things that perhaps they never really had time to clean out on their hard drives are now coming up because they've got some free time. So there's some silver lining in all of this for sure, but we're definitely trying to figure out how to reallocate our time. I think publishers in this particular window of our history are happy to be working in intellectual property. There are a lot of industries where things are just completely shut down, and restaurants are closed and factories have been shut down. And we're really lucky to work with a product that can be sort of created anywhere. So that's a really positive thing in all of this for sure.
Awesome. Okay, great. Let's move on to Dizzy next. Did we lose him?
Where'd he go?
I think we did. All right, let's go to Andre. I'll give him a shout. Can you unmute Andre, Tony, please?
Yep.
Yo, what's up, everybody?
What's up, brother? How you doing? How are you doing?
Good, man. Good. So my name is Andre, obviously. I work at The Nations, which is a MCN / kind of parent company of a YouTube channel called Trap Nation. Underneath the Nations, we have 8 curator channels. Basically, what we do is we take a song a day, whether it's a song that you own or a song that we release through our label. We put it through YouTube, and we share it to over 45 million subscribed users. I started that when I was 15. I've been doing it for about 7-8 years now. And then we have a publishing company, a label. We're doing some stuff with you, obviously. Trying to work out some of the live event stuff. Maybe not so much right now, but hopefully in 2021 we'll work more in the live events industry as well. But yeah, that's my background.
Awesome. I see you guys are doing some really great stuff in the digital side coming up.
Yeah.
How has the Nations been affected by this? Has there been have you seen a lot of traffic being increased from everyone being at home?
Yeah, you would think streaming and digital numbers would increase from something like this because everyone's stuck inside, and I guess kind of the correlation there is I guess with Call of Duty Warzone and all the new games coming out, all the servers are super jam-packed with people playing the games. But ironically enough, streaming went down for our channels in the last about month from this predicament, unfortunately. So it's been kind of difficult because we're now starting to see some of the numbers decrease a little bit. But it hasn't been as bad as I think some people, some analysts on some blogs and stuff make it out seem to be. I guess on YouTube, it's a younger demographic compared to Spotify, where it's more general in the entire world. I guess YouTube is more like 18 to 24-year-olds, and our demographic is a little different than the Spotify demographic. So it hasn't hurt us too much, but surprisingly, there's no increase.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And what do you see the positives coming from this, especially in your world, in the artist world? Definitely want to touch on the Nations as a label as well, and how artists and producers can, what's your process on submitting music to you guys, and what are you guys looking for? Those types of things.
Yeah, of course. I mean, some positives. I think, coming from someone who literally works from home for the last 8 years, this has been no drastic change to me whatsoever, other than the fact that I can't go out and get a beer, or I can't go out and get breakfast. But that's very those are privileges that I take advantage of. And I think throughout a moment like this, it's making me realize actually how much I enjoy those things, and how little it does actually impact my life in terms of my career and what I do on a day-to-day basis. Positives, I mean, our company's quite young. We have some older people on board, obviously, as with Creighton, he's a little bit on the older side, but everybody's quite adaptable and interchangeable enough to work at home and make their own spaces out of their apartments or houses into an office space. Honestly, the productivity for my company, we're pretty small. We're only about 11 full-time employees. It's been, if not the same, it's definitely been better. I think everybody gets to work in their own space again, and I think people are taking advantage of that. I think a lot of people also have pets, so it's they can work from home with their dogs, and it's easier. But yeah, I mean, 3 weeks ago when we had a big meeting about this in our company, when I basically told everyone to just work from home, a big thing about that was we wanted to go over what positive things could we bring out of something like this, because of course, if you listen to the news or if you listen to anybody, that's all they talk about is just how you holding up, how's everything going, and they talk about all the bad news with the virus and everything like that. And for me, my biggest challenge was, I think the people that are going to come out on top of this in entertainment, but also other industries, are the people that can adapt and learn how to take a really negative situation and make it into a really positive outcome. And I think with our company, that was a big standing point for me, and talking point was, we're an internet digital media company. We're quite young. How do we take advantage of something like this where everybody's indoors, everybody's, online right now on the internet? How do we create buzz and awareness for our company in a positive way, whether that's doing a digital live festival in the next few weeks, or it's releasing more songs to the label that we have called Lowly, just trying to take advantage of that. So it's been pretty good so far. But yeah, I mean, one of the positive things I think we're doing and taking advantage of, we're doing like I said before, a live stream, digital festival live stream. It's going to be broadcasted through Trap Nation, and then also through Proximity, which is another channel similar to ours. And the first weekend, which is this weekend, we're going to be broadcasting to people. It's basically just a digital festival with a bunch of EDM acts. And then in 2 weekends from that, we're going to be doing a more wide variety genre live festival with rock and hip hop and a lot of Trap Nation acts. on the EDM world as well. And then all the proceeds for those 2 festivals go to a charity that helps musicians that are out of work right now. So that's kind of like, again, like negative situation. How do we do something positive for it? That's a direct correlation to that.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, and a lot of my DJ homies are out of work right now, and that stuff means a lot to the community. So thank you for that.
Yeah. No, of course.
What's up, Dizzy? How are you, bro?
Let me,
I'm good.
Thanks for joining, my bro.
Nah, these phones these phones not stopping right now. So
I know. How you holding up out in Miami right now?
I'm good. Everybody that knows me, Dizzy Clean Face, and like I'm always running around making things. So this time is like I'm just sitting, but I'm getting a lot done.
Yeah, you're the ultimate hustler. We definitely know that.
Yeah, so it's like right now, I just gotta switch it up. I'm always gonna be a hustler. Switch it up in different things. I got all my writers and my team and everybody. They got equipments at their house and they all working, getting a lot of stuff done, and just getting a lot of placements. A lot of stuff happening in that field. But sad that like I can't be outside and a lot of people dying and stuff. But we gonna make it. We good.
We good. And what do you see the positives coming out of this, man? I mean, are you like with your business? I mean, you put a lot of big records together, like major hits for some of the top artists in the world. So, how do you see?
I'm doing that. I'm doing that right now as we speak. Like that's why I had to get off the phone for a second. Like it's a lot of collabs. A lot of collabs is happening right now. A lot of features is happening. A lot of artists again with like a lot of like it was people I was chasing for like 2 years, and now I'm finally getting everything done because everybody's sitting right now. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no income coming in from touring and doing different things. I'm trying to get as most income I could get from right now. To knock out these features and whatever it is, just collabs. And
yeah, there's a lot of artists at home right now just cutting records and
a lot of my producers
listening
are working,
to more beats than they would.
The platform. Yeah, using the platform to record on, do things online and just keep yourself going. Like I know it's a lot going on, but we gotta fight for this. I mean, hopefully this will be over soon, and we just gotta keep going. That's all I've been doing.
Definitely. All right, awesome. Let's move over to Blaze next.
Hey, Yo, what's up, guys?
How are you, bro?
I'm good, man. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, no problem, man. No problem. For those of you guys who don't know me, I go by Faze Blaze on the internet. My name's Lucas. Most people call me a gamer, but I like to tell people I'm a video creator. I have over 1,000 videos uploaded to YouTube, and I've been releasing singles for a couple years now, as well as just putting out all kinds of content. I'm like a daily creator, just trying to make stuff every day. And we are in a crazy time right now, but there's a lot of really dope stuff happening. And I feel like a lot of people are just taking time to focus and grow, which I think is beautiful. And I also think it's cool that more people are connecting with each other online. I know a lot of challenges come with that, and for a lot of people it's something new and something kind of weird. But for somebody like me who kind of grew up with all of his best friends being online playing video games, it's just cool to see more people connect through the internet and use the internet to do things like make money. So yeah, crazy times. But I appreciate being on a call with all of you guys. This is cool. This normally probably wouldn't have happened if we weren't all sitting at home.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And obviously coming from the gamer side of things and esports and the YouTube world, the esports world, you guys have been doing the live stream thing for years now. You guys were the first to it, in my opinion. And we're very familiar with that space. Now we're watching the music business transition into live streaming. A lot of DJs are live streaming. We're seeing producer battles right now that are crazy dope. And then also the donation side of it, which gamers have been eating off of for a while now. So maybe you can touch a bit about that, and where you see, how maybe give some pointers to the music business right now on how you see them kind of adapting over just
Yeah, totally. I mean, live TV has been a thing for a long time now, and it transitioned to the internet because all these different apps and platforms gave every normal person the opportunity to start like a live stream, and people are catching on and realizing that that is like a super powerful way to connect with people, and also it's just fun. And I feel like everybody kind of has a story to tell, and everybody, at least in the entertainment world, people who like to entertain, they just they have a thing for it, for just getting in front of a camera. And live streaming is just really, really dope. I mean, Tory Lanez does his Instagram live streams. I've been watching those, and it's cool to see people from the music industry just realize that you can put on like a whole show by yourself, and a lot of times make bread off that too, which is amazing, especially if you're using platforms like YouTube and Twitch where you can monetize. I mean, some of the gamers that I know made over $10 million in a year just off of streaming. So it's like, that's crazy, all from their bedrooms.
Exactly. Yeah, I think the brand side of things too, really diving into the streaming side, artists, I think, as gamers are doing now with some of the stuff that we're doing together, Blaze, I think, sponsored streams is going to be a big thing coming up for musicians.
Oh yeah, one of my teammates just did back-to-back sponsored streams for Postmates, and I see that transitioning over to music real soon. I was very interested when Andre was speaking about the live concerts, because that's something that can easily be done, and if people really like it and tune in and mess with that, then that can be done from anywhere, which will give a lot of artists opportunity to make money, especially during these times when you can't tour, stuff like that.
Exactly. And it's about taking advantage of these times now, so when things get back to normal, the music industry has more income streams to work off of. And that's
facts. No, live streaming is huge, man, and people are just starting to figure out from the music industry that is how to utilize that and how to monetize off that, how to build their brand with it, and it's dope.
Hell yeah. All right, awesome. Let's move over to Leanne. Hey, Leanne, how are you today?
I'm good, thanks. Glad to be here.
Thanks for being here. So Leanne works with a ton of major influencers. Works with some of the biggest brands in the world. Tell us a little bit more about yourself and your company and how you're handling COVID and how it's affecting what you're doing.
Yeah, so I run a company called Music Brand Agency. We manage around 30 different types of creators, celebrities, musicians, and the beautiful thing is that they're all multi-hyphenate, and I think now is the time to really like expand upon all of their different avenues that they create within. So, looking at my clients who are music artists, like, their touring business has stopped and their album dates have been pushed, but I'm now able to like bring them opportunities to, create more content. So by example, like I do a lot of work with Procter & Gamble, and, right when the virus started and everyone was in quarantine, I had 3 deals go live with Procter & Gamble, and the views were higher than ever. So Procter & Gamble was a company that was like, okay, let's take advantage of this time and not stop our partnerships, but ramp them up. So I think in the past month, I've done 10 to 15 different deals with Procter & Gamble, who really are like, let's not like pause our funding. Let's continue to create the content. And one of my musicians who has a production company, we actually got her a really incredible commercial opportunity with a brand under Procter & Gamble. So I think it's about like talking to, as a manager perspective, like talking to your clients and really strategizing like what other, not to pause the music, but what other lanes can we focus on that we can really help develop and bring more opportunity for growth and keep that connection between the audience alive. I studied Jay-Z's career, and one of Jay-Z's, his main, back in the day, he didn't rely just on music sales. Like he started a clothing line. It's, bringing that 360 holistic approach, but bringing the brands into that equation. And, you know, a lot of my deals have paused, but a lot of deals are happening. And I think we're seeing a platform shift between, you know, the people who have really like curated Instagram profiles. Now they're going on TikTok and having so much fun and shifting that energy. So I think now's the time to think about how people want to create content moving forward and work on new platform growth, which we're seeing with TikTok 100%. And I think the brands on TikTok are not stopping. The brand deals aren't stopping. So it's comforting for my clients to know that, and, you know, to continue to create content and not to stop.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think the time now is for artists to really, you know, diversify, take advantage of this downtime.
Yeah, and I think, you know, one of my clients put together a beautiful sponsorship once and I had sent it out to, like, you know, my top brand list, and I got a lot of feedback, like, you know, we're trying to strategize and how to like approach this, like how we want to like communicate what we want to do moving forward. So a lot of them responded, we're not interested right now, but it's still about making that connection, putting your clients on brands' radars, telling them what they're doing. So like anyone who's listening, who's an artist, like bring your team together, like tell them what you're doing so they can go talk to people. Never, like, just because it doesn't happen today or next week, that brand now knows about that talent and you know, what they're doing during this time. So I think like just staying connected and like strategizing, now's the opportunity to plant seeds that will that will grow into big trees like in 18 months or even, you know, in a few
100%.
months. Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay,
and
great.
You know, just as another example, like I think there's a delicate approach between like fostering relationships with brands and knowing when to ask for money. So like we just worked with EA Games, two of my clients, and we gave away 30 game codes. And some of the DMs my clients got they're so inspiring. Like one of them was like, I just lost my job. Like, thank you so much for sending me this code. So I think there's still ways to work with brands and develop relationships. So when the brands do have money, they come back. Like it's not all about the transaction of the dollar. It's really about the relationship. That's
awesome.
what I've been telling my clients too.
That's awesome. Thank you for that. Okay, Andrew, Bolooki, the VoxGod.
There you go.
What's up, brother?
What's up, y'all?
How are you
Thanks for having me, dude.
Congrats on your Grammy nom this past February for Old Town Road, one of the biggest records of 2019.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks for being on the show with us today.
I tell you, I'm very appreciative that all happened 2 months ago, because it would have been a lot different if the Grammys were a little later.
Right. Absolutely.
So yeah, for those of you that don't know me, my name's Andrew Bolooki. Sometimes I go by the VoxGod. I'm a producer, engineer, vocal producer, mixer. I'll basically do whatever to make your song sound better. Yeah, I've known Anthony for a long time, so we're both from South Florida. Keep the connection going, you know.
Yeah, we shared a studio together back in the day.
Yeah.
And now he's...
Yeah, man. I to just piggyback off of what everyone else has been saying, I know this is super uncomfortable for everyone. It's absolutely uncomfortable for me. I have a studio that's outside of the house, and I'm dying to go back there, but I just don't feel like it's the right time yet. I don't, you know, there's some communal areas, and I just like, you know, everybody's taking its different levels of seriousness. So like, it's not imperative that I get back there like tomorrow. So I'm just trying to kind of make it work out of my house, and it sucks, but I tell you, the connections I've made recently with my other producer and musician peers have been like, I'm so proud and happy of all the rest of the music community. While everyone's like, granted, if you worked in live touring and live acts, you're facing this crazy uncertainty, but the people that work and do other stuff out of studios, everyone's bored and re-energized and like dying to connect with each other. And we've all been playing a whole shitload of PlayStation lately and Call of Duty. And like, we're all in these new like group chats with people that we, you know, I know these people on Instagram, but I don't really ever talk to them. But now we're just so bored. They're just like, yo, let me hop in your game. And we just start talking. And it's kind of awesome because it's like it's that feeling of uncomfortableness that is something that we all have in common now, which, it sucks. You don't want to wish that on anyone, but we're all dealing with the exact same. So it's like, at least that's the icebreaker for a whole bunch of new conversations, which granted, whether or not it turns into work or not, I'm just happy to connect with people. I think that's amazing. And that's the best, silver lining you can have out of this situation. And also off of what Leanne said, the companies that are not so much focusing on dollar transactions right now, but a lot of music companies are our software's free right now. Our software's free. Our software's free. All this new free software that people are giving up free license codes for is incredible, because you're lowering the bar of entry to you have no excuse anymore. That free software, even if it's just for 90 days or whatever, along with YouTube, you can get started. You know what I mean? And people like myself and my other peers, we're DMs and Instagram conversations are just going full speed now. And I'm more than happy to connect with new people who are hey, I just got this program. How do you use Melodyne? Or what are your settings on Autotune or whatever? And I'm happy to share that information. Whereas if there wasn't a bunch of new users now using those programs, maybe they would have, out of curiosity, came across my page. But now people are actively doing their own research, and they're just bored, and the boredom's actually springing something positive, which is kind of awesome. I think that's dope.
Awesome, man. No, it's so true. It's so true. I mean, there's so many companies. I mean, from digital marketing to anything right now, everything's discounted, master courses, and now's the time to really take advantage of it. With whatever, other, other forms of knowledge that you've been wanting to do and turn into income, into a new income stream moving forward after this. So that's awesome. And that's some great knowledge that you just presented, Andrew.
Yeah. I mean, for anybody that's watching, that's curious, go to a Waves Audio or Sound Toys, or anybody that makes these. Apple, I think, just made Logic free today. Any of those companies, you start following one, they'll start suggesting you the other ones, and then you start just have a small little Instagram circle group of these companies. Almost all of them have free codes right now. All of them do. So there's just, I encourage everyone just to get started. If you're an artist that relied on an engineer and now you can't work with your engineer, it's not that hard. You can kind of figure out how to do it, and then there's hella YouTube tutorials, and you can just connect with people online and figure out, iron out the bumps or whatever. But I think that's I'm looking forward personally to the new ways of connecting and working with people. I don't think it does kind of suck that you can't be in a room right now with humongous Asperger's blasting your face off and you're listening to final products or whatever. But I think that the music industry kind of needed this from the studio side to shake things up a little bit, and maybe get people who have confined themselves into small bubbles, artists, teams, whatever, to start branching out and reaching out to just new groups of people, connecting in different ways. And if you can start collaborating a little bit easier with people, because you can virtually jump into their session and then virtually jump into somebody else's session. I granted that could seem like somewhat of a clusterfuck down the line, but if there's a way to do it where you can lock up your chat group and then send invites to people because you want to work with this writer or this writer, whatever, and they can't physically be in the same place at the same time. I mean, there's definitely a lane there for people to get a whole lot more work done than they could have before if they're able to hop into different environments. You could end up hitting 6 sessions a night from your living room. That's kind of awesome. I don't think the technology is right there yet where the latency is low enough that, it's still going to seem like you're using a video chat thing for a little bit, but I don't doubt that all these companies are going to figure out how to get the latency where it needs to be. Where playing video games online, for example, there's latency, but people found ways to deal with it, and it's fun. You get the same rewarding feeling when you win a game or whatever with other people. when they can iron that out a little bit, and you can get that same rewarding feeling of like making an awesome song or doing awesome work with people virtually, like I'm not going to say no one's going to care, but people are going to get over it and they're going to start to see more positives than negatives.
Awesome, bro. That's so dope. And you know, with Jam Compass, you know, we're tackling some of these things and working on a lot of these things. And you know, I think also when it comes to our Slack group, you know, if you can, Andrew, putting some of these tips and tricks in the production tips channel within Slack to give some of these guys maybe some of the links that you were talking about with the native instrument stuff and all that stuff. So we'll be, again, building this Slack channel to really build this community to then transfer everyone onto the app so we can have these opportunities come together in real time. We've been working on this project for over 4 years now, and people didn't understand it for a long time. But now I think people are forced to. So that's really why we're trying to put this community together to really build these opportunities for the community. And when it comes to the educational side of things, you know, learning tips and tricks from someone like Bolooki, who is literally one of the best in the business when it comes to vocal production and what he does. So it's tough times right now, but the future is really bright. So let's start connecting on the Slack group, and then we'll be able to, you know, keep everyone updated on these weekly webinars, and then also when the app's in beta, which in a couple months. So let's move over to our CTO, Don Opara. Tony, if you can unmute him. Hey, Don, how are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm good. Good to be here.
Thanks for joining in. We know you're extremely busy in the tech world. Maybe give us a little introduction and the background with Jam and the experience.
Yeah, sure. So I head up technology for Jam. So I have a team that's actually building the Jam Compass app as we speak. As Anthony said, it's been a labor of love. It's taken a long time, but that means that we've got a lot of input from real musicians and other people in the music industry. So we feel good about what we're going to release in a couple of months to all you guys, and we're excited to go forward. I'm also do a little music myself on the side, so I can see it from the musician's perspective and the technology perspective. And I think this is going to be something great for the community.
Absolutely. You know, in what you do and what you're seeing right now, how has COVID affected your business on the tech side?
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, I think the projects that we have already ongoing, you know, like Jam and others, you know, those projects are moving forward. People are still building. In fact, it's a good time to build because there's not much else to do. So the coders are still coding. We're not seeing that much of brand new projects because obviously a lot of companies are just trying to figure out what direction they want to go in before they green light new stuff. But all the stuff that's already in progress, we're moving ahead, and everybody's kind of thinking once this is over, they're going to come out of the gate, you know, full steam.
Absolutely. And any other input you have as far as the Jam project and some of the stuff that's being worked on?
Yeah, sure. I mean, we're taking it step by step. We have a long roadmap of a lot of really cool features. I think the most basic thing is about community. So the phase one of the app is all going to be about just bringing the community together, allowing what is happening today on this call to happen like 10 times, 100 times across the world with musicians collaborating together. But we have some really exciting stuff. We have some new ways that musicians can actually monetize and make money off of the app, which I think is going to be a big hit. And then we have some cool things with new technology like blockchain and some other technologies that's coming down later in the roadmap as well. So yeah, a lot of exciting stuff in the pipeline.
Awesome. Yeah, it's been a long road, but you know, a lot of these features, we've had many focus groups, and we'll be just bringing more and more high-level people in to start testing it once we're in beta within the next couple of months. But Tony, why don't we open up everyone's mic right now and start taking some questions from the audience?
Yeah.
If you have a couple questions.
Yeah, let me see here. So we got a question here about releasing music from Ruby Chase here. I'm working on a music release for mid-April, and I'm wondering what advice you may have for an independent release during this unprecedented time. Does anyone have any suggestions?
Maybe Andre, do you have any input on that?
If it's a good time to release music, not a good time. What are your thoughts?
Did you ask me if I have any input on that?
Yeah. Did you hear the question?
Yeah. Is there a good time to release music? I mean, look, it depends what you're looking for. I think any time is a good time to release music. Again, it just, I would say yes. Because I think people in the music industry are, again, like this is everybody on this panel is finding new ways to work harder and make more money, and do a better job at their jobs. And I think if this is just a panel full of those people, I feel like 95% of the hustlers in the music industry are doing the same exact thing. So it's like, why shouldn't you? Yeah, I mean, I manage an act called Cloud, and we're about to put out his best EP yet in the last 2 years. I don't really care if less people are streaming music in general by a statistic. It doesn't matter to me. If good music speaks, it's going to speak, and people will hear it. So, I mean, that's my kind of consensus on it.
So, Donny, what do you think about that?
I think release. Keep dropping. Right now, it's like, just flooded right now. There's people at home, they ain't got nothing going on, find different ways to create of marketing and through maybe gaming systems or whatever, just release and go. TikTok videos in your house, do some creative stuff, whatever you got to do, just go.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly. Candice, what do you think?
Totally agree with everyone. I feel like it's the best time because people are kind of paying attention because they have to. The world is kind of like standing still right now. So it's an amazing time to just bless them with whatever we have. And, it could help them through this time as well. So it's really, I think definitely releasing music right now is a great idea.
Awesome. Tony, what's the next question?
Yeah, let's see. Does anyone have any suggestions for dealing with mental health right now and staying sane and just mentally healthy overall? Any places that you go to or apps or that kind of stuff that you use to help out?
Yeah. Meditate, pray, burn a lot of stages. Listen to a lot of good music right now. Just try to keep the faith.
Yeah, Leanne, what were you gonna say?
I was just going to say the Calm app is a really good app to like help practice meditation, but there are a lot of services. I've recently read an article about like therapy, like hotlines and texting services. I don't know them off the top of my head, but I know that you can Google them and find a lot of free resources right now.
That's awesome.
I think just connect with people. I mean, connect with people. Even I've connected with so many friends, colleagues I haven't even talked to for a while, but everybody is supporting each other. I think we're human. We need that humanity element more than ever. So connect with people, do FaceTime, even at a subliminal level, connecting with another person, having a good chat, having a good vibe, it does wonders for your soul. So I would say don't just be alone, definitely connect with other people.
Absolutely. I've been doing these online.
It's definitely a hard thing to do alone.
Yeah, I've been doing these online workouts on IG Live. So
there you go.
Help.
A lot of
share them, Anthony. Inspire some people.
I will share them. Barry's does it. All these, Rumble. I mean, all these gyms.
Peloton is 90 days free. Everyone.
There we go. Peloton 90 days free. Do you guys hear that? Wow.
A lot of companies, similar to the way that music companies are doing 90-day free logins. I think you'll find that most people right now are like, it's a free for all for whatever you need. And I can't speak for everyone else on this panel, but myself doing quarantine, I live alone. It's been very helpful to have a furry friend, and lots of people are looking for fosters right now. So that's another thing that a lot of our writers have ended up picking up pups and just having something with them. And it's a good time. So it's kind of little simple things like, meditating helps. And
so if you guys are out there
one day at a time,
want to foster a pup right now, it's a really good time. It's a great comment.
Also, my good friend works for John Krasinski, and they just launched Some Good News, which is a YouTube series highlighting all the greatest news stories in the world. So like they had a lot of things that were supposed to come out in theaters, and obviously they had to halt production, so they shifted. And his views on the videos I checked yesterday had millions of views, and he launched 2 days ago. So I think that everyone just needs to be innovative. I don't think that was a project he was thinking about releasing, but he got it together pretty quickly, and it's really inspiring stuff.
Awesome stuff, guys. Tony, what's the next question, bro?
We have a couple of questions here about like live performances during this time and like what was the specific question here? how will the pandemic affect live performances? What's the next move for live musicians considering the pandemic?
I've actually read an interesting article, I believe it was last week, about how Live Nation will be changing the contracts for artists. And it's going to be a major impact, I think, in the business. You know, and don't quote me here, but I read this in the Billboard article, is that they might not even pay artists flat fees anymore based off the risk of a potential pandemic. They might be getting 80% of the ticket sales of the stadium, and Live Nation will take 20%. So there's new ways. The touring business is definitely going to change. The concert and festival business is definitely going to change in a sense. So we'll definitely be seeing what unveils coming up. Anyone have any thoughts on that? Dizzy?
I mean, yeah, I think it's definitely going to be a lot of stuff online. Companies already reaching out to me, like, for Snake to do some stuff and different artists to perform online, and it's all kind of different stuff coming right now. So I think that's the future right now. Till, you know.
All right, Tony.
Let's see. How does this crisis change talent discovery? Any new methods of finding people since
I've been scrolling on TikTok for hours.
Yeah.
Andre, how are you? What is your process right now? I mean, just in general, do you guys get a lot of submissions? Are you guys, your A&R teams kind of just scouring the internet all the time? Like, how's the process with the nation?
Yeah, I mean, we have a submission portal for our label, and our curation channels. People just go online on our website and submit. Personally, I prefer outbound A&R. I like to go on SoundCloud and TikTok and like try and find an artist that really inspires me and has a catalog of music and a brand that they're working towards and they're putting the work towards, that I can kind of help and assist on. It's just a little bit more rewarding than just getting a song sent to me and be like, oh, this is dope, let's sign it. But yeah, I mean, I feel like, online discovery for music labels is going to be, I don't think this is going to change that much, just because it's been this way for the last 10 years, ever since streaming took over digital sales, I think. But yeah, I mean, it's basically the same, just through our portal.
Awesome. I have a question here actually for Emily, asking if Kobalt is signing new talent at the moment, or are you guys at a halt and not doing that?
No, we're definitely not at a halt. We are taking into careful consideration what's going on in the climate right now. And we don't want to put too much stress on revenue on new clients, because obviously that is kind of unclear. But like I said earlier, working in publishing and in a company that's particularly forward thinking when it comes to all things digital, we are still currently collecting royalties, and there's residuals to be made for songwriters. So we're not at a halt at all, but we are definitely being careful. And I think, it's an interesting time, and there's a delicate dance to how to go about new music and new signings and that sort of thing in the moment, but definitely not at a halt, which is cool.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great. Let's see if we have any other questions here. There was a question for Leanne here. Do you have any advice on which brands are good ones to focus on collaborating with right now?
Sorry, I didn't hear the last part. What?
Do you have advice on which brands are good ones to focus on collaborating with right now?
On like who to reach out to? Sorry, I'm not understanding the question.
Like, what brands do you, just read it again, Tony? Sorry.
It says, do you have advice on which brands are good ones to focus on collaborating with?
I mean, that's a tough question, because like my answer is like, I wouldn't tell anyone to focus on a brand that they wouldn't really use or love or want to promote. So I think like you should work with the brands that really inspire you for whatever reason and what works for you. And I think then you can strike partnerships the reverse way and say like, here's the content I've already done for you. Here's an example of it. I'd love to like figure out how we can partner together. I think that's the best way to go about partnerships now.
Awesome.
Very cool.
Should we answer a couple more questions or
yeah, a couple more.
Let's see. There is Any recommendations for songwriters on how to get placements at the moment? How to get discovered, how to get placements?
Yes. Right now is the time to go through all your old records and, hit people up and see who's working and send off, because there's a lot of catalog. And even if you have a system right now at your house, set it up, hit everybody up, who's working, who's looking for stuff, hit producers up, and just get it done. Because everybody's working right now. They're taking records like crazy. Trust me when I tell you. It's time to go.
Every producer, every songwriter I know is just like, send me beats, send me songs, send me beats, send me songs. I'm bored. They all have setups. They all have microphones in their house, and they have nothing to do. And it's good for me because I need people to keep recording, so they keep sending me shit to fix. So I hope it keeps going,
Absolutely. Yeah, now's the time. Now is definitely the time to go back into the old catalogs, like Donny said, and bring out records that you never would have been able to finish now. We also have a Finish My Song category in the Slack channel, kind of telling the community, like, hey, if I have a song that's half done or needs some work, put it into the Finish My Song channel and see who's down to work on it. We'll start getting the system in place now on Slack. Are there any more questions? Maybe you answer a couple more, and then we can wrap.
Yeah, let's see if there's one more good one here. I think I covered all the subjects. Everyone's sort of asking around the same things, like mental health. How do you get discovered? Should I keep working right now? Someone here, let's see. I'm based in Greece and I'm looking to get placements with US artists, even though I don't work with a major publisher. How would you approach this?
Internet.
I actually work a lot with lots of overseas just writers and producers. I'm doing a lot of work in Africa and Europe. And like I said, this is like kind of how we work anyway. We send each other ideas, even if it's like voice notes is something that, you can just start an idea, voice note, especially for songwriters. Voice note something and then we record it here. I've been doing that for a while now, from last year, working with tons of people. So yeah, definitely. It's really easy, I feel like, to get collaborations happening when you just, kind of reach out to people all over the world. And, I've definitely had some great songs happen with some great Afro vibes recently that I've been doing.
Awesome. That's a vibe. Blaze, any tips or tricks you can give to the community? I mean, you're an expert at the YouTube space, the streaming space, digital marketing space. Is there any advice you could give to artists right now on maybe even how to get started?
Totally.
Even TikTok. I mean, just to speak for you, Blaze's TikTok has gained about 1 million followers in the month of March alone.
Yeah, I mean,
so, you've really mastered TikTok. So any advice you could give to the community, that'd be great.
Yeah, totally. First of all, I just wanted to go off of something that Andrew said because it got me really hyped, and I didn't interject while he was talking. But it's so dope to see people connect through the internet. Like, it's a completely unique connection to like meeting somebody and building a face-to-face connection. You really just focus on conversation, and a lot of times you connect with some really, really dope people who share a lot of the same interests with you. I know Andrew has definitely like done the same stuff as me as far as like connecting with people in gaming, but I just think that stuff's dope, and I think right now a huge positive. Everybody is just kind of connecting more. But to answer your question, or to give like an artist some advice, it's just important to put out content. That's really what it's all about. Every single day you have an opportunity to play the game, whether you're playing a music game, YouTube game, other platforms like TikTok, whatever. Every day you have an opportunity to play that game, and if you're not playing it, then you're missing out. So if you're an artist or you create something else like video, and you're a director, I'm assuming that most of the people who join this live stream are artists. So if you're an artist, just put out as much content as you can. If you're independent, like put out a bunch of music, but really get behind every song. And on top of that, like start putting out, like Donny said, like start putting out random videos and stuff around your house. Everybody has a story to tell. A lot of people are mad funny. So it's just about showing that side of you to people and having them connect with you. So yeah.
I can add something to that too. Like
Yep.
all of my clients who started out, like you don't start out to make money, you start out to make content. And you know, my clients have catalogs and catalogs of content that they started on the Vine days that they're now, you know, 7 years later, they're monetizing on Facebook, you know, through the monetization program. So it's not even like, I would just focus on the content that makes you happy and inspires you, because it will inspire others. And it shouldn't be about the money right now. And all of that will always come. That's all.
Great point.
Yeah. Awesome. Maybe one more question, Tony, and then we'll wrap this up.
Yeah, let's see. When should the producer get in?
About this one right here. How would you all suggest approaching TikTok or brand building in general without looking like a gimmick? What would you say, Blaze?
Just be real. That's all. That's my best answer. People really, really gravitate towards other people who are just being real on the internet, like just being transparent. If you start to be someone that you're not, like people will catch on, and like people won't mess with it. So it's just about keeping everything real. It might come across, it'll never come across as a gimmick if you're keeping it real. It might be a little bit uncomfortable for you at times, or you're trying something new, but that's really what creating is all about. Just pushing yourself out of your comfort zone and trying new things, I guess.
So here's a question for Tony. Tony, can you elaborate more on the platform you're creating?
For me, huh? Yeah, I mean, we're building a mobile app that is basically going to be like the music industry in your pocket for, you know, creators, industry professionals to go on and you know, it's all about collaboration, and it really works well at a time like this for people just to come together and you know, if you're looking for a guitarist or a songwriter, go on, find someone in your area to connect with, and then from start to finish, just, you know, go through the whole process of and then getting it out into the world. And there's a bunch of resources as well. That's the gist of it, Anthony, if you want to.
We're gonna have a trusted payment system as well, where similar, and you can unmute Don on this too, chime in a little bit, but yeah, we'll have a trusted payment system that the industry is hopefully going to be able to use on a daily basis. So there's no issues on payments. People have to make payments before they get stems, and we'll have an easy process in the app to do that. And eventually we'll have a desktop icon as well, like a desktop way of using the tech. We also have the split sheet integration, which is a new way in basically formalizing splits. So you'll have invoices, an invoice section that basically caters to all your invoices that you send out to other musicians or whatever it is. And then we'll also have the split sheet integration, which will all be organized. So if me, Tony, and Andrew do a song, everyone can basically get onto the split sheet, confirm everything, and then a PDF will be sent out to your emails. And then, you know, down the road, once we implement the blockchain and smart contracts, this will be a very seamless process, trusted and transparent. So if anything you want to add, Don.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good summary. We also have some features about like new ways that musicians can actually earn in real time on the app that we're excited about. So I love people that have downtime in between gigs. There's going to be ways that they could book some work right there on the app, which I think is going to be one of the killer features on the app. And then we have some stuff, like I said, even further down with blockchain that I think is going to be a real game changer.
Yeah.
But we're going to take it step by step. We did a lot of focus groups with real musicians they pretty much shared day-to-day life, day-to-day challenges, and we took the best of all that and put it in the app. So yeah, so there should be something that's really practical for musicians, working musicians, professional artists out there.
Yeah, and to touch base on what Andrew said about you know, the digital collaborating, we're working on that as well. That'll be probably in a later build, but those conversations are being had on top of everything else that's being built. Me and Tony have the app on our phones, and we will be able to send that out to a small select of people in the next month or two for beta testing. And then we're going to, again, join our Slack group, and we will be building that community there. Once we're ready to start inviting people on, we're hoping to give the entire industry an opportunity to make a lot more money, collaborate, connect, stay busy, and evolve through this, come out on top.
Awesome.
So I want to thank every one of the panelists. It really means a lot to us to come on board. This is our first one. We'll be doing them every Wednesday. So thank you guys so much for taking an hour of time and giving your incredible knowledge about the business. We all know everyone's super busy, but we invited everyone on here that we really respect and look up to what you guys are doing. So thank you very much. Again, Tony, if you have any last words, join the Slack group. We're going to build this up, and I'll see you guys next week with another incredible panel.
Yeah, same. Thanks, guys. We hope everyone stays safe and healthy, and thanks again for talking. It's been great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Stay safe.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, guys.
All right, bye.